Colin Metcalf and Luke McKeldin. His ball is up. And we'll do it one more time, why don't we?
Funky start to tonight, here we go.
On the jump ball violation, it goes with Maryland to start out of the gate. The Terps 3-1 on the season, winners of 2 straight. It was that only loss 70-60 right here against DMV rival Georgetown. Couple of whistles before this one even officially gets underway. Now Elijah Saunders inbounds Diggy Coit, and we've started at the Xfinity Center. Coit coming off a season-high 19 points in that win against Marquette. He was huge picking up that point guard role back into the starting lineup as a Kansas transfer. Coit into the corner with Andre Mills to Darius Adams. Back over to Mills, a floater. He can't get it to go as the shot clock expires. Rebound goes to Mount St. Mary's. Mason So on the left wing with the Mount St. Mary's team 1-3 on the season, fresh off a loss Sunday at Cincinnati. Bounce pass to Luke McKeldin. Goes up with the right hand, a tip, no good. McKeldin gets the rebound. Second chance bucket doesn't go, and Adams pulls it down. They'll try a straightaway three-pointer as well. Too strong, rebound goes to Elijah Saunders. Here's the UVA transfer, back out to Coit. Works on Mason So. Finds a teammate in Mills, his left wing Trey. Short rebound goes to Xavier Lipscomb.
We saw Maryland start off hot on Saturday against Marquette, but a few bad misses here to start for the Terps.
So, across the baseline, can't find a teammate there. Was looking for Anastasios Rosakeas. It's the first turnover of the game for the Mount.
And that's what we talked about in the open, turnovers. That's been a big issue for the Mount, and you see it here just over a minute in. Another turnover.
Over 70 turnovers already across those 4 games for Mount St. Mary's. Team under second-year head coach Donnie Lind. In his first season, took the MAC to its first ever MAC championship. Saunders, the corner with Mills, and gives him a screen. Coit works on Justin Amati, passes it around, 10 seconds on the shot clock. Mills walks the baseline, hands it off to Metcalf. His layup doesn't go. Another rebound for Xavier Lipscomb. Mason So tries another three-pointer. He gets it to drop, and the foul. In transition, Mason So puts up another tray. This one drops for the first 3 points in the game.
In transition, that's a nice shot from the Mount. Kind of sells it a little bit with his arm going down, but Mills makes contact. Nonetheless, a great shot from So and an early 4-point opportunity to get things going in College Park.
First foul in this game for Andre Mills, the redshirt freshman who came over with Buzz Williams from Texas A&M. He got into foul trouble in that win at Marquette, with Mills having 11 points but 4 fouls. After the 3-ball, Mason So drops in the free throw. Over to Darius Adams, the 5-star freshman, 4th-ranked Terp recruit of all time behind a couple of NBA players. Diamond Stone, Derek Queen in particular. Here's Coit again. Swung around to Adams with 10 on the clock. And this goes as a charge. Or instead, an illegal screen on Colin Metcalf. Set up atop the arc. Metcalf will check out for Alex Alston.
And Metcalf with a bigger role tonight, obviously with Payne going down. He missed the layup earlier, now had an offensive foul, and that's why he's going out. And another big man, Alex Alston, the freshman from Chicago, checking in.
We've seen Buzz Williams experiment with this lineup a lot, and when he does, it's guys like Colin Metcalf who might only come in for 15, 30 seconds at a time. One defensive stop and checked out. That one, he's in for about the first 2 minutes. Rosakeas to McKeldin. Has a size advantage with Coit. Now gets doubled with Alston. To Lipscomb, 6 on the clock. Corner 3 from So. Off the back of the rim, Rosakeas pulls in the rebound. So will try mid-range with Alston in the air. No, but another board. This time it's tipped away to Maryland.
We saw Maryland struggle in the rebounding game against Marquette. Coach Buzz saying they're flat out bad at it, but here we go.
And a three-pointer for Diggy Coit drops in. And it's stolen away by Alston. It's back with Coit. 3-on-2 break. Finds it with Mills. Into the paint, and he's tripped up before he gets there.
Back on that Diggy Coit 3, you can tell in these first 3 minutes that he's been anxious to get going and get some shots up following his 19-point performance. And there was a nice shot there to get Maryland on the board. But here's Mills driving, lots of contact, and just flipped it up with the right hand. And here are 2 free throw opportunities for Mills.
Mason So picks up the first foul in this game for Mount St. Mary's. So Mills goes to the line. Can't make his first shot. Mills brings a physicality, a real toughness to get to the line that Buzz Williams says he wants to see in all 16 guys on the roster. A real ruggedness that maybe Mills didn't see in game action and while redshirting in College Station last season, but comes over from Texas A&M and brings that toughness with him.
Bring in the toughness, but also that glue guy mentality. He's been very reliable, very solid in all phases of the game so far. Here he checks out with Isaiah Watts checking in.
Washington State transfer who also had a really good game against Marquette. He had a season-high 18 points. He comes in for Mills. So he's got the first 4 points in this game for Mount St. Mary's. It came off of a 4-point triple. That's a switch on to Alston and moves it around. It goes out of bounds. Played down low for Justin Amati. They say that was an illegal screen on him. Another turnover, already the 3rd for the Mount.
And on that play, you can see Watts give a little fighting words after that play, and then David Coit going up to his teammate and saying, settle down, it's early, we're good. But here comes Maryland trying to fight for an answer.
Watts sporting the black mask because of a preseason injury to his eye in one of Maryland's exhibition games. Coit, step back 3-pointer from the right side. It's short. Up for grabs and pulled in by Amati.
Coit 5'8", but nothing short of confidence from the guy. Lots of shots early for Maryland.
Into the corner with Arlandis Keys. Back up to Lipscomb. Bounce pass to DeVoe. And can't get it to drop. Mount starting this game 1 of 7 shooting. Maryland a similar 1 for 6. And it's the second foul that goes on Mason So as Diggy Coit earns a trip to the line.
Mason So had the team's first 4 points, but now he picks up a quick 2 fouls, and it looks like he'll have to check out for Donnie Lynn's squad. Coit driving. Again, that 5'8" frame, but he plays a lot bigger than himself when it comes to the offensive side of the ball.
Such a force on the perimeter, too. That step-back shot we just saw go short as he drops in the first free throw. But Coit, you mentioned the 19 points he had in that win against Marquette. Maryland won that game by 7 points. He had 19, including 4 triples. That was half the team's made 3-pointers.
And that was in 37 minutes of action. Team is relying a lot on him so far with guys like Rice and Washington out. But even when they come back, looks like he'll have that big role.
Coit came off the bench for the first 2 games of the season, which is where he'll head now in favor of Guillermo Del Pino, the freshman guard from Cordoba, Spain. But Coit's leading his team with over 32 minutes per game, and we've seen since that exhibition game against UMBC that Buzz Williams, who you see talking right there to Diggy Coit, he wants to play his guys for as long as they can.
And he wants to play him specifically because Darius Adams had to play that #1 point guard role in that exhibition against UMBC, but if someone else is playing the 1, it opens things up for #1, Darius Adams.
Arlandis Keys in the left wing, inside to Amati. Left-handed layup, can't go. Rebound goes to DeVoe, and he's fouled on the second chance shot. The jump from the Kevin Willard era here to Buzz Williams.
You can see the hype carry over from last year. Guys were excited about that Sweet 16 run, and it carried over right when Buzz entered College Park.
First free throw is missed for Trey DeVoe, transfer from Western Illinois, who's playing for his 4th school in 5 years. There you see the Derek Queen jersey, who's now starting for the New Orleans Pelicans. Maryland fans have to love seeing that.
Having a great start for New Orleans, getting a lot of action, and now getting some more starting roles as well.
Coaching change there in Louisiana, and Queens benefited. Here in the full court press, it's a steal and a layup that goes to Justin Amati after his trip to the free throw line for Trey DeVoe.
Right now we're seeing Mount St. Mary's be the more physical team. We're seeing those offensive rebounds and now that steal.
Watts breaks the press, finds it with Saunders in the corner. Moves around to Del Pino. Alston to Adams. Gets the switch to Keys. Gets Contact and a foul from Keys. Can't get the layup to go, though, so Maryland heads back to the line.
We saw the confidence from Diggy Coit earlier at the three-point line, but here's the freshman. No hesitation, driving to the rim. Couldn't finish there, but we'll see some of those go down. We saw a lot of them go down against Marquette when he finished with 16 points.
That's how the freshman from Manchester, New Jersey has made his money so far this season, being unafraid of the contact, finding trips to the line. Almost the first one here.
Hasn't had the best shooting numbers to start the season. Only 2 of 18 from the three-point line, but 82% from the free throw line coming in.
Making 1 of every 3 shots overall, as he'll split them at the line for his first point in this game.
Andre Mills returns for the Terps.
Tied back up, and after that free throw make for Darius Adams, the freshman heads to the bench, and Andre Mills comes back into this now tied game for Maryland. There it is with Arlandis Keys. He's one of the returners from the Mountaineers. He had a big tournament run a season ago. Over to a new piece in Anastasios Rosakeas, the transfer from Florida State, the only Mountaineer with Power 4 experience. Rosakeas, back up to Keys, his right wing three-pointers, good. Keys adds another 3 for Mount St. Mary's.
One of the leading three-point shooters for Mount St. Mary's is Arlandis Keys. You said he's a returner from last year and showing off his leadership once again with the triple.
Mills to Del Pino. Here's a freshman from Cordoba, Spain, some 3,800 miles away from home. To Elijah Saunders. Right-handed finish is good, and the foul. Saunders finishes through the contact, and he heads to the line for one more. Go back first to the 3.
Here's the 3 from Mount St. Mary's. It was Arlandis Keys with a few feet behind the three-point line, and then Mount St. Mary's cutting off a lot of driving lanes, but Saunders powers through for the and-one finish. Nice play from number 13.
Saunders special in the paint, a guy who has so much collegiate experience, starting his career at San Diego State, where he made a Final Four run with the Aztecs, then goes over to Charlottesville with the Virginia Cavaliers, where he was really a top contributor a season ago. He'll miss the free throw. Isaiah Watts pulls in the offensive board, but with it up for grabs, might be Xavier Lipscomb of Mount St. Mary's as the first one to it.
Great effort from Watts, coming off the bench and imposing his will. Had 2 hands on the rebound, just lost it, and then forced the jump ball, and ball's going the other way, but we'll see Maryland get the next tie-up.
It's been such a point of emphasis for Buzz Williams just into his first couple weeks as head coach of the regular season for Maryland, being the first one to lose balls, creating as many shot opportunities as possible, Buzz says, and he wants his guys to have that same kind of intensity.
We're seeing a lot of guys go in and out when he's trying to work in that philosophy, and mostly because he's trying to figure out who can match it with all these guys being new, playing together.
Keys, a handoff to Yako Diop, but taken away by Maryland. Coit coast to coast, finish to the right hand, but it's blocked by Diop.
Diop coming into the game with 2 blocks already, but here's one clean. Ball may have trickled off of Coit, but it just missed him, and it'll stay with the Terps. Nice block from Diop.
Diop, the 7-foot, 220-pounder out of Dakar, Senegal. He's part of the NBA and Africa program. Now he's with Mount St. Mary's. Off the inbound, here's Maryland. Isaiah Watts, right elbow jumper, it drops. Watts' first 2 points put Maryland back ahead.
The way Mount St. Mary's is playing defense, it's going to take some tough shots like that from Maryland, but we saw the Saunders and 1, and now we see a little step back jag from Watts.
Both teams shooting 3 of 9 out of the gates. Lipscomb on the right side, gets it ahead of Colin Metcalf.
Xavier Lipscomb.
Lipscomb averaging just under 11 points per game in 35 minutes of action. He plays a lot, and he's yet to come out here tonight.
Mills into the paint and gets it to fall. Unafraid to go amongst the Giants. He drops it in for 2.
11 points against Marquette. Already off to a nice start here with 3.
Over to Keys with Rosakeas. Mount St. Mary's has made each of its last 3 shots, but that one doesn't hit anything. Diop tries to keep it in, but Saunders takes it. Here's Diggy Coit. In transition, they'll slow it down. Saunders down low. Goes to the left hand, and it'll go as a foul on Diop. Diop's first of the game. 7th for Mount St. Mary's in the half.
Saunders so far not afraid to impose his will, and he said about the offseason when it was working under Buzz, every day is physical when you play for Coach Williams, and now they're trying to see that translate over to game action, and the guy from Virginia making it happen.
Direct that, just 16 fouls for Mount St. Mary's as Saunders makes the first free throw. It was really interesting, Benji, to hear from Elijah Saunders preseason. Is he was coached a little bit by Tony Bennett at Virginia before Bennett ended up retiring, but he says that him and Buzz Williams have so much in common because there's such an emphasis on men before players and trying to develop his athletes that way.
They've all been around the game for a while. Saunders has been lucky to have been coached by almost legends of the game in the last 10, 15 years or so.
Saunders checks out. Alex Alston back into the game. Here's Mason So for Mount St. Mary's. Diop to Rosakayas. Goes opposite way of the screen. Right-handed layup. Takes 2 bounces, but pulled in by Metcalf. Decoit. Spun around to Isaiah Watts. Here's the Washington State transfer. Cross court to Alston. His right wing three-pointer. It's good. Alex Alston drops it in now, and the freshman's got himself 3 points. Rosakayas, a matching 3. It's good. Both teams trading makes. That 3 from Rosakayas cuts a 7-0 Maryland run. Mills, baseline, a handoff to Metcalf. It's up for grabs, and they'll point it in Mount St. Mary's way. Both teams trading 3-point makes to the tune of an 18-15 Maryland lead. Just over around 12 minutes left until halftime here between the
actual contest, but a really good showing with 13 dogs. Ryan, I don't know if you can eat 13 dogs in buns.
Yeah, Benji, or not Benji, Benji too, but Eddie, something tells me I wouldn't have success with that. Thanks so much on the sidelines for that contest back in 2008 where Lynn says he made a business decision to not pursue it further.
Also told us to make sure there are no pictures involved or sending it to us.
It's nearly 20 years ago, but he did say out of the 3 as the turnover goes against his Mountaineer team. He was the only amateur within the top 3 too. It was 2 professionals who snuck into the contest there. An 18-15 lead for Maryland. Back with it offensively to Diggy Coit. Saunders tries a 3. This one's short and pulled in by Rosakayas. McKeldin tries to get to Amadi, he just tips it, and Maryland not fooled. Coit, he's got a game-high 5 points to Alston. Now Saunders on the left block. Layup's no good, tipped around, and Patrick Haig is the first one to it. So, to Rosakayas, right wing triple is short and goes to Alex Alston with the Terps. Mills working on Haig. Got a 3 to his name. That one doesn't drop though. Teams trading misses. We're shooting under 35% now. So, bounce pass to McKeldin. Coit brings a double team all the way in the corner to Haig. Rosakayas, another 3-point try. That one falls.
Make that 2 threes for Rosakayas on the night. 2 for 4 from 3, and he's got half the team's 3-pointers. So we are tied up at 18.
Had just 5 3-point makes across the first 4 games. Now has 2 in the first half here. Alston to Coit. Trying to cut into a mini scoring run for Mount St. Mary's. They have each the last 6 points. Layup from Saunders doesn't fall. Adams somehow gets the rebound, and he earns himself 2 more free throws.
Seeing Adams make it happen on the offensive end, but here is a hustle play there. Saunders missing, but Adams swooping in for the rebound and throwing up a shot to get foul free throws along with it.
That's what Williams talked about too, is the importance of offensive rebounding. And it's a stat that he said was beyond bad and just awful, not only against Marquette, but through the first 4 games of the season so far. You can see there's been a clear emphasis on practice for Williams' bunch. Adams misses the first free throw. Keeps his game tied at 18. Here's Adams on the second free throw attempt, who came to Maryland in just May, a late recruit, and makes the second free throw. He had one phone call with Buzz Williams. He said from that point on, he knew he was coming to Maryland. He's the second member of the Adams family to play in the Big Ten too, with his sister Destiny being a 2-time All-Big Ten selection at Rutgers.
Let's not forget, he decommitted from UConn and then committed to Maryland 10 days later for a special opportunity to play under Buzz.
Adams got 2 points with a pair of free throws. Luke McKeldin, cross court to Haig, he keeps it in play. Xavier Linscomb with 7 on the shot clock. It's pass to Amadi. 4 seconds, 3 seconds. And Adams, another great hustle play. This one goes to Isaiah Watts on a 3-on-3. Diggy Coit, right wing 3-pointer, drops. Diggy's feeling it from 3-point land. Another make for Coit. And it's a 4-point Maryland lead, leading to a Mount St. Mary's timeout.
That is Buzz Williams basketball at its finest, turning defense into offense. Guys scrambling for the ball. Adams, the freshman, hustling in for the play, and Watts running the floor, finding his guy, and knocking down another 3 is Diggy Coit. Everyone involved here on that play, giving Maryland an extended lead.
Coit just can't be contained from behind the arc right now. He's got 2 of Maryland's 3 3-point makes. Got a game-high 8 points as well. For a Maryland team that really doesn't want to rely on that 3-point shot. That's not what Buzz Williams' teams were known for the last couple of seasons at Texas A&M. But there's been a couple of nice 3-point shooters, Coit being the biggest example of that with his transfer over from Kansas.
And guys are opening things up. Yes, Buzz wants to run his philosophy, but with a lot of new players showing off skill sets, Diggy Coit is opening things up from beyond the arc, and we'll see if Miles Rice can do the same when he returns to action, and even Rice is spreading the floor as well.
Williams' Texas A&M Aggie teams had the fewest 3-point makes across the last 2 seasons in the SEC. Over to Keys as Maryland 3 threes. And Mount St. Mary's wants another. It's good with Divo. Mount St. Mary's has been shown to shoot the 3 though as well. Mountaineers starting 5 for 8 from behind the arc. Metcalf. Pass and screen for Adams. Frees him open for a right wing triple. It's short. Metcalf's in a perfect position for a tip-in. It doesn't drop off the rim.
It's a good play from Metcalf. I think we've seen him settle into this ball game. Obviously didn't have the great start. Buzz checked him out, but ever since he's come back in, he's making nice plays there, even if that didn't fall.
DeVoe, double team, doesn't matter. Gets a right-handed layup to fall.
DeVoe, one of the leading scorers for the team, came off the bench tonight, but he's now checked in here and has 5 consecutive points.
Yeah, it's the first time Donnie Lynn brings DeVoe off the bench. Mentioned the 5 straight points that he has as Mount St. Mary's retakes the lead. Soft layup from Darius Adams is pure.
The way he plays, you'd think he'd be playing college basketball for 2 or 3 years or so. These are confident veteran drives.
Foul goes on Colin Metcalf. Does it defensively. Going back and forth, a 1-point Maryland for Maryland over Mount St. Mary's. So far it's been Diggy Coit with 8 points to lead the Terps. And some good defense as well for another inbound with Mount St. Mary's. This is a really physical and fun team under Donnie Lynn, he was telling us during this week. That's his leader right there, Xavier Linscomb. He finds with Rosickeas, whose 3 goes in and out. Guillermo Del Pino back into the game. He's joined by Alex Alston, Elijah Saunders, Isaiah Watts, and Darius Adams for the Terps. Here's Adams. Back over to his classmate and freshman Del Pino. Saunders a straightaway triple. It's too strong. Tipped up and into the hands of McKeldin. DeVoe to Lipscomb. Zacchaeus passes it back out. Cross court to Keys. Now inside to DeVoe. Off the back of the rim. Saunders another rebound. Over to Adams. Maryland trying to set up something offensively in a game that's been one score for all but one possessions. Two teams back and forth. Olsen another triple, hits nothing. Keys, a 3-on-3 break after the air ball. Zacchaeus inside to McKeldin. Spins baseline and gets the layup to drop.
We're seeing Maryland shuffle in their front court in and out with guys like Saunders, Alston, and Metcalf, and we'll see if they can match the physicality and height from Mount St. Mary's.
Foul goes against Mount St. Mary's with a couple of substitutions checking in. Arlandis Keys' second foul as we take another look at how it happened.
There's Adams driving in, a lot of contact going there. Nearly carried the ball by Adams, but fouled even before the shot, and Maryland will get 1 and 1. This will be 8 fouls for Mount St. Mary's on the half.
And that 8th one puts Maryland into the bonus. As Darius Adams heads back to the line with 4 points. Half of those points coming from the free throw line. Now a third free throw make. This Maryland team comes into this game shooting 84% from the free throw line. Today, 8 for 12, and that's been a big area for Buzz Williams. Again, just putting up more shots than the opposition. But he said after that Marquette win that Maryland was almost too reliant on free throw makes, as Adams has 2 here.
Got to hit shots from the field as well from the free throw line as they come free. Maryland looking to be versatile, trying to score from anywhere.
And that'll go as an offensive foul on Xavier Lipscomb. Darius Adams makes both free throws, then draws the charge.
Doing it on both ends is the freshman. Gets those feet set just in time, but Lipscomb extended his arm so clearly, and Adams goes flying. Ball goes the other way.
Adams doing so much of the little things that might not show up on the scoreboard, but creating extra possessions for Maryland, and that's a big reason why he's getting so much time under Buzz Williams. Mills gets the rebound after the block, and it's back with Adams. Saunders works at the right block. Double comes from Zacchaeus, and layup is missed by Saunders. Lipscomb snags it out for a 3-on-3 break. DeVoe, a triple. It's short and into the hands of Andre Mills. Watts thinks about a 3. Said pass it to the left block with Saunders, who's fouled quickly by Keys.
Been a lot of contact in this game. Refs letting them play so far, but just a lot of arm-on-arm action. And Saunders will go back to the line where Maryland has dominated the free throw line so far.
Foul instead placed on Trey DeVoe. That's his first. 9th team foul. 10th one already for Mount St. Mary's. Saunders back at the line and makes the first. Now 10 free throw makes for Maryland, who's pacing over 20, and that's been the recipe again for the Terps, who have made at least 20 free throws in each of their first 4 games.
Shot a lot too, went 23 of 27 against Marquette. So far that's been their bread and butter, is going to the line.
Coit checks into the game for Del Pino. Terps back up by 3 in the final 5 minutes and change of the first half. DeVoe breaks the press. Works baseline on Saunders, who tips it away and steals it. Here's Diggy Coit. Saunders on the offensive end after the defensive steal. He goes defense to offense for 2.
Saunders having a great game. He started his presence inside, missed 2 threes, and now he's going back to the paint, and there's another layup.
Pass over the head of Zacchaeus, so Maryland brings the double. And forces a timeout from Donnie Lind. Buzz Williams loves to see it on his bench. So, you see some Maryland fans here at the Xfinity Center have some exciting news. Eddie Culkins, what just happened?
You get Mikey to shoot me or no in the student section? Or yeah, you're hearing the students right now. Bala Odunku announcing that he's coming to Maryland, the 5-star Blake High School prospect, the second highest ever recruit for the University of Maryland. You heard the eruption in the crowd. He is coming to Maryland. That's got to make Maryland fans happy. You heard it from the students, Ryan and Benji.
A program-changing commitment on a Wednesday night in November. Thanks so much, Eddie. Baba Oladoton, the Silver Spring native, the number 10 prospect in this year's class and the top prospect out of Maryland, becomes the second highest rated recruit in program history for Maryland. Oladoton, he's a Terp, Benji, and the Maryland faithful here at Xfinity Center know it.
Buzz already putting a stamp on the program so far with a huge recruit coming to Maryland next season. The 16-year-old will be a Terp next season, and the fans erupted as you heard it.
Arlandis Keys quiets the Maryland fans for just a moment after the Terps had their biggest lead at 5, a 3-pointer for Keys. But that is a special commitment that you get, staying home for the Silver Spring native who plays his high school ball at James Hubert Blake over in Cloverly.
And that's what all Maryland coaches emphasize with having guys from the DMV stay in the DMV. And as you see here, more contact on Adams, just not afraid to drive. There's another foul on Keys as Adams will go to the line to shoot 2.
It's going to be the third foul already on Arlandis Keys. So he's going to get checked out of the game for Patrick Haig as Darius Adams makes the first free throw. And they're going crazy right now at James Hubert Blake High School, and so are they at the Xfinity Center. Adams drops the second one in. There could be teammates with Oladoton soon. Those are 2 top 5 recruits in Maryland program history. All of a sudden, the future looks very bright for Maryland basketball.
Make it 3 years in a row. We saw it with Queen, now Adams, and now Baba coming here next year. And you must have thought Maryland hit a game winner with this way the crowd popped, but even better news with Baba coming home.
A remember where you were moment for those at the Xfinity Center with Oladoton committing to the Terps. Back here on the court at the Xfinity Center, it's a 4-point Maryland lead. Patrick Haig, 1 second on the shot clock, just puts anything up, but it doesn't hit rim. A shot clock violation for Mount St. Mary's.
Buzz is loving it. Maryland has played exceptional defense in the last few minutes, shutting down Mount St. Mary's and extending Maryland's lead.
So it's a 4-point lead for Maryland. Already the second big recruit that Maryland got too. Remember, Caden House, the 4-star out of Arizona and son of NBA champion Eddie House, announced his commitment to the Terps less than 2 weeks ago. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of text messages, special did you sees for the 16 Maryland players when they get back to the locker room. But here on the court, it's a 4-point Terps lead. Watts tries to keep it in bounds, can't do so. Goes out on the baseline and ball back with Mount St. Mary's.
And following the news, guys have to settle back in. Still got a basketball game to play here, even with this exciting news. And last few minutes or so, Maryland has played some good ball, and you can tell that the air in Xfinity Center is a lot more lively with this announcement.
How does Mount St. Mary's respond with all of that too? Remember, a team in here that's still a 1-score game. Has been so through a majority. Tipped out of bounds by Andre Mills. It's going to be Mount St. Mary's ball with 14 seconds on the shot clock.
See more turnovers forced by Maryland's defense, but also a heck of a more deflections from Maryland's defense, and certainly Andre Mills almost getting his hand in the cookie jar.
Lipscomb swings it around. McKeldin works on Saunders, 4 seconds on the shot clock. Kicks it out to Arceus, he's got to get a shot up, and it's short. First one to it is Diggy Coit. Coit to Saunders. Darius Adams heads into the lane. Piece it back out to Watts. He'll try a long 3-pointer. And it doesn't hit anything. Goes into the stands with Mount St. Mary's taking back over.
Not a great shot selection from Watts. We've seen him knock it down from behind the arc, but Maryland had a lot more time on the shot clock to work things around and find it inside, which was what they've been doing nicely so far.
Maryland still at just 3 3-point makes. Mount St. Mary's has doubled that with 6 threes of its own. Out to Rose Arceus. to Lipscomb. Thinks about another three, but his feet came off the ground.
See Buzz just whacked Darius Adams in the head with a water bottle. Another turnover forced by Adams. I think Buzz was telling Adams to not leave your feet, young fella, and play solid defense, but nonetheless, they get the turnover.
Well, that's exactly what he wanted. It was Adams who rose up from his 6'5" frame and forced Lipscomb to have to come down with it, or that one would have been blocked. Both teams in scoring droughts. No points in the last 3 minutes for either side. Coit to Saunders, he looks to end it, and he does. Saunders sauces up another. That's a three-pointer for Elijah. Gives Maryland its largest lead at 7. McKeldin, left-handed layup, drops in, so the Mount St. Mary's scoring drought is over as well.
At times, Adams didn't leave his feet and played solid straight-up defense, but it didn't matter as bigger fella got it home for Mount.
Darius Adams to Mills. He'll try another three. That one's long. Haig keeps it in play. And here comes the Mount St. Mary's break. Xavier Lipscomb. Swung Amadi back to Haig. He's their three-point shooter. So back to Amadi. Rosakeas. One dropped short again. Saunders has his team leading third rebound. Isaiah Watts in the final minute of this first half. Maryland's only led by as much as 7 in this first frame of play. Coit, a mid-range shot. It drops down again. Diggy's got 10. He's into double figures with Elijah Saunders.
Jumper is so smooth from Diggy Coit. Just finds space on his own, steps back. He loves that shot and knocking it down again.
2-for-1 opportunity here if Mount St. Mary's moves. Game clock is 7 seconds behind the shot clock. McKeldin puts up the layup, and it's good. Maryland can hold for this last shot, though, with 14 to play in the first half. Adams, the freshman point guard, calls out the play. It's a screen from Saunders. Left wing three-pointers, no good, but as Darius does, he's going back to the line with 2.3 seconds left until halftime.
Donnie Lynn, the Mount St. Mary's head coach, was trying to plead his case that Zacchaeus got only the ball, but as you see on this shot here, hits that right wrist. Adams sold it a little bit, but nonetheless, it's 3 free throws for the freshman looking to extend the lead.
It's all about that follow-through, and Arceus picks up his second foul in this first half. Adams already 8 free throw attempts, and on his 9th, that's another point. There's a real program-changing addition in the transfer portal too, as he has 3 free throws, makes the second. Not in the transfer portal, but the late addition from this class of 2025. Adams makes all 3, he's up to 11 points. Maryland staring at its largest lead. 8 points to halftime. This one's tipped up, stolen by Del Pino. Gets a shot off, and it's off the glass. That would have been for Mount St. Mary's. The Mountaineers paced by 4 players who have 6 points. Luke McKeldin with 6 points and a team-high 4 rebounds. Terps now go from right to left. It's in the hands of Andre Mills into Diggy Coit. Coit tries a three-pointer out of the break and gets it to fall. 3 threes for Diggy Coit. He keeps cooking from long range.
And something Buzz said after halftime against Marquette was because of that poor start to the second half, they just said they really started the second half because they were happy that they were tied. But here, a great sign from the Terps with an early 3 from Diggy Coit.
Yeah, it was Maryland who made a second half comeback as Amadi misses a shot, gets his own rebound, and gets it to fall on the second chance opportunity. Maryland trailed at halftime and won versus Mount St. Mary's, who were at Cincinnati on Sunday. They led at halftime and ended up letting the Bearcats come back into it.
And here a little bit what we saw in the first half of those offensive rebounds. Mount St. Mary's doing everything they can to try to stay in it.
5 offensive rebounds for Maryland and 4 for the Mount. Coit picks up his dribble and finds it with Mills. Into the paint, nice move, nice finish, and the foul. Mills makes it happen, goes from left to right. The finish and a chance for one more at the stripe.
Seeing the guys drive inside. A lot of physicality, matching the body for body blow. And Mills just switching arms in air and with a beautiful finish. We said he's that glue guy, but he can do a lot more. He's going to look to score more with Payne not playing tonight. He's doing so here with 7 points.
Taking a little nap, too, at the baseline by our camera operators. Anastasios Rozakaitis picks up his 3rd foul. Mills can't convert the N1, but Adams with the rebound. 18 rebounds apiece for each team. That was a big point of emphasis for Buzz Williams after the win in Milwaukee. Adams into the corner with Saunders. He'll try another 3. Too strong. Off a bounce, it goes to McKeldin. Mount St. Mary's now in its 5th game, 3rd against a Power 4 opponent. Has lost to West Virginia and Cincinnati. That 3, though, for Mason So is pure.
That 2 threes for Mason So. He's got 7 points because of that 4-point play. He hit the free throw, and even with those 2 fouls, he's keeping the Mound alive.
Coit moves quickly off the inbound. Can't get to fall, but the foul will go against Luke McKeldin.
Coit doing a little bit of everything so far. He had the 3 earlier in the half, and now saw it in the first half, driving to the rim over the much taller Luke McKeldin, and he'll go to the line.
So Diggy dances to the line where he's already 2 for 2 today. Coit is the real experience on this team, a graduate who played at Kansas, has over 1,300 career points across nearly almost 100 games. Someone who didn't even talk with Buzz Williams before committing to Maryland. It's all about Buzz's assistant, Steve Roccaforte. He sold Coit on Buzz's vision, his new plan at Maryland. And it was Coit who then chose the Terps out of the transfer portal. He puts Maryland back up by double digits. His keys to McKeldin and gets it over Darius Adams.
That's where Maryland is missing Pharrell Payne with that inside presence to play straight up. We saw Colin Metcalf kind of be forced out of the paint and there, and that's what opened up McKeldin with the easy lay.
Yeah, Payne has some underrated defense too at 6'9", 250. Known for his offense where he leads Maryland in scoring, but out today with an injury that he sustained on Saturday at Marquette. With Coit, another step back, straight away 3-pointer, you bet! Can't leave Diggy that wide open. He drops in his 3rd 3-pointer, or 4th 3-pointer.
Smooth jumper, low arcing shot. Can't leave him open for that long or he's gonna make you pay. Here he is doing it again.
18 points for Diggy. He's got a 2-on-1 break. Running with Saunders. Passes it up, but stolen away by Lipscomb. Up for grabs. Who's grittier to get it? Both teams are going to be pulled away here after the fight for it with Mason So and Elijah Saunders.
Buzz with a big smile on his face, loving the hustle from Saunders before the extracurriculars, and you can see the guys on the bench with Payne and Solomon and Rice absolutely loving it, the fight from Saunders.
And St. Mary's coach Donnie Lind runs out to the opposite paint.
See the guys fighting over it, lots of contact, lots of hand fighting. The ref making sure Saunders doesn't have this go on any longer.
How about the freshman Darius Adams pulling away his senior Elijah Saunders too? That's the kind of locker room that Buzz Williams has sustained here so far at Maryland.
We're seeing Adams mature quickly. I mean, that's what we talked about after the UMBC game. He scored a lot. He was playing a little immature, playing a little too freely. But now as we are in this young season, Darius Adams is growing up and showing leadership now.
He brings the half-court press with Isaiah Watts. His Maryland Terrapins up 11. So Larda's Keys, a long 3-pointer. Short, Amadi almost has the putback slam, but he's fouled in the process.
Yet another offensive rebound opportunity for Mount St. Mary's. The bench almost lost it with that putback jam opportunity. Here's the missed shot, and no one boxes out Justin Amadi. He comes in freely. If you're Buzz, that's the first thing you're going to emphasize tomorrow morning in practice. You got to get a body on a body when it comes to defensive rebounding and closing out more scoring chances for the Mount.
For Williams and this Maryland team, they're just lucky that that play didn't end up on SportsCenter. If Amadi gets the dunk to go, he misses the first free throw. Foul goes against Darius Adams as his first foul. Maryland's first team foul as well. Sends Amadi to the line. Transfer who was with Tulsa last season. James Madison for 3 years before that. Splits him at the line for now 5 points on the day. Watts to Coit, who breaks the press. Isaiah Watts to Adams. Coit thinks about a left wing three-pointer. Goes cross court to Mills. He'll try a tray. Doesn't fall. Mason So wrestles it down. Lipscomb to Keys. Gets into the paint. Left-handed finish. No. Rebound to Watts, and he moves up with it. Coit on a 2-on-1 to Mills. The two-handed flush. Mills makes no mistake about it. Coit picks up the assist, and Maryland goes back up by 12.
I mean, his head got to the rim. He exploded. He didn't even have that much of a load up before that jam. Incredible athleticism from the redshirt freshman.
Andre Mills, a stick of dynamite for Maryland so far. Another steal for the Terps. Adams comes up with it. Here's a 3-on-1 break. Watts to Saunders. He goes for the alley-oop, but it hits off the back of the backboard.
Now the guys on the bench telling him to just get back, get back. Don't worry about the big play. Just play solid defense.
3 straight turnovers from Mount St. Mary's. Lipscomb now gets up a shot. It's too strong from three-point land. Watts has the long rebound. Here's Isaiah. Right-handed finish is swatted away by Keys. Back and forth action on both sides as Maryland urges its luck to work these games. And a special shout out to our Director of Broadcasting, Alex Baker, Assistant Director Lucas Mayer, for all they do to make these games so special. 52-40 lead for Maryland. Just over 15 minutes left to play in this one, an all-Maryland matchup between the Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers and Maryland Terrapins. Saunders, a right wing three-pointer. It's too strong, but another rebound for Darius Adams. It's Adams' 4th rebound, 3rd on the offensive glass. Second chance opportunity created with the ball to Isaiah Watts. Spin move on DeVoe. Goes into the paint, and he's fouled, putting up a shot.
Now, if Maryland can generate some consistency shooting from behind the arc and now driving inside to the paint, this team can be dangerous. You see a lot of contact there as Watts was going up, but we're seeing a lot of analytical basketball from Maryland. A lot of threes, a lot of free throws, a lot of shots inside. Smart basketball from the Terps as they're extending their lead to double digits.
And that's not coincidental for Buzz Williams' team, who's really a metrics guy, leans in to how the numbers can shape away a basketball team plays and wins, and we saw that again with such an emphasis on offensive rebounding, on free throw shooting when he was at Texas A&M.
Mixes the metrics-based style with his old school philosophy of physicality and grunt work, rebounds, all of it.
Buzz is actually standing at the very end of the bench with Pharrell Payne as he now walks back in the picture. Gives Andre Mills a word and a high five on the way. Mount St. Mary's team that's gone over 3 minutes scoreless, facing its largest deficit at 13. Diop to So. Mason already with 7 points. Picks up his dribble, finds Lipscomb with 5 on the shot clock. Bounce pass to DeVoe, he's got to get something up. And they'll just get fouled by Alex Alston. Maybe thinking the shot clock was a little bit lower than it was, and DeVoe was going to put up a three-pointer.
Saw with Adams before not leave his feet, and Alston, who's already 6'10", big fella does not have to jump that high to contest a shot, make it harder for DeVoe. He picks up the foul there.
Just the first foul of the game for Alston, the freshman out of Chicago. Second team foul of the half. So spin move on Saunders, walks the baseline, finds a teammate in DeVoe, gets the layup and the foul. Pretty pass and an even prettier finish for Trey DeVoe. He heads back to the line.
He just set it for Alston. He lets that pass go behind him, and then as he tries to contest, he jumps again, and DeVoe, the smart player, laying it in for the N1.
One of the nicest plays today we've seen by Mount St. Mary's. Goes from So to DeVoe, and he makes the free throw. Maryland up comfortably after starting the second half strong. Watts to Coit. Buzz Williams calls out a play from the sidelines as Coit enters the paint, has a mid-range jumper that's pulled in by Diop. Rosickais to DeVoe. Goes cross court to Lipscomb. Launches a three and it drops down. Funky jumper for Xavier Lipscomb. That doesn't matter though, it's 3 more points.
Lipscomb's been quiet tonight. Hasn't made his mark so much, but he's certainly made his mark on the program. This is his 4th year with the Mount. He has taken on a real leadership role under Donnie Lynn's squad.
Started all 36 games last year, and Lynn's first year at the helm. He's been a real leader as Mount St. Mary's creates a turnover. Colin Metcalf checks into the game. Diggy Coit, Alex Alston, Darius Adams all check out with Guillermo Del Pino and Mills checking back in. So, on an island with Watts, now gets a teammate in Amadi. DeVoe, left corner three-pointer in front of his own bench. Can't get it to fall. And over the back foul goes on Guillermo Del Pino.
2 guys hit the deck here on this attempt. Nearly a make from DeVoe, and guys are just fighting for the rebound, but here's Amadi and GDP colliding.
Now we'll see what they call it on. They'll change it to Saunders for his first foul. 4th team foul that goes against Maryland. So 20 seconds on the shot clock for the inbound. So has the Hail Mary pass to Rosickais. Over to So, he's alone on the right side. Gets Mills in the air. Has a teammate in Diop. Here's a 7-footer. His left-handed layup is good. Diop's first points on his first shot in this game. Make it an 8-0 Mount scoring run.
We've seen it all happen inside with big men being patient for the Mount. But there's a foul there. A little impatience from Amadi.
At that half court.
Dunks from guys like Andre Mills, but even more hustle plays from freshman Darius Adams, who seems to be okay after, looks like he just went down a little funky, but he's on the bench in good spirits.
Adams is on the bench, so the 5 on the court. It's Mills, Saunders, Watts, Metcalf, and Guillermo Del Pino with the ball. Terps have it, but Mount St. Mary's has scored the last 8 points. Watts looks to change that, but he's emphatically swatted away. Offensive rebound goes with Metcalf. Maryland tries again with Mills. That layup gets up, but off a few tips. It goes to Mount St. Mary's. Big block for Yakia Diop, his 2nd of the game. Mount St. Mary's has 4 blocks to Maryland's 0. So, over to DeVoe. Spin move on Saunders. Right-handed finish is good. That's the kill shot. 10-point run for Mount St. Mary's. Makes this a 1-score game again. So just like that, it's a 3-point Maryland lead. They led by as many as 13. 53 for Maryland. School with the Crimson, obviously very smart in the Ivy League, but now it's a 4-2 basketball team. They're also a really great football team there in Cambridge, Mass.
We've seen some good Ivy League basketball in recent years. Obviously, Yale making their runs to the tournament.
Andre Mills is not far out of Cambridge, Mass. The Boston native misses his first layup, gets his own rebound, and he's going to the line for a chance at 2.
Mills, not great shooting numbers, but those don't really matter when you keep on driving to the rim. And 1 layup of those is going to fall, but if not, he'll go to the free throw line instead.
Foul goes on Trey DeVoe, his 3rd foul. So Mills heads to the line where he's 1 for 3 today and make him 1 for 4. Terp shooting under 75% now from the free throw line. Maryland, an 83% team across the first 4 games, was the best mark for any team in the Big Ten, not named the Wisconsin Badgers. Mills makes the 2nd one, up to 8 points. After that, a couple of substitutions for Maryland, including Darius Adams back into the game. Eddie, the freshman looks to be all right.
Yeah, got a little bit of treatment on that lower left leg after we saw him stumble and go right to the sideline. But more importantly, in that last timeout, Coach Buzz Williams looked him right in the face and said, "We need you."
Adams has 11 points across 23 minutes. A 3 from Lipscomb, that one's good. A 1-point game here in College Park via a 13-1 Mount run.
They've done it by chipping away and chipping away. There's not going to be a 13-point basket, but they've pieced together nice drives and possessions. Now we got a 1-point game.
And St. Mary's looking for its first lead since the 6-minute mark in the first half. Saunders can't help Maryland's case. He misses that layup. Here's the Mount, an opportunity to take a rare lead in this game. It's back and forth in the first half. Maryland's pulled away in the second. What does the Mount have to say about that? Xavier Linscomb to Mason So, his three-pointer, in and out. Rebound to Amadi, and it goes off of him. Ball back to Maryland.
You can just tell that bench almost exploded with that ball going in. It was a nice pass from Xavier Lipscomb to the corner for a wide open triple. And that's the guy you want taking the shot, but it goes in and out of the hands of Amadi as well. Ball goes to the Terps.
Mason So's got 2 made field goals in this game, both three-pointers. Can't get that one to fall, though. His first miss from that area. Mills to Coit. Coit's got a game-high 18. He hands it off to Darius Adams. There's the freshman. Left-handed layup is no good. But stop me if you've heard this one before. Darius Adams, he's heading to the line.
Only shooting 1 for 3 from the floor, but 9 of 11 from the free throw line, and he'll make it 12 and 13 attempts tonight. And he's ended up on the floor a lot with these drives, laying his body on the line.
Nearly half of Maryland's tries from the charity stripe. That's Darius Adams' game. He just loves creating the contact, finding ways to the line.
And you love to see that from a freshman, because if he's doing this now, just think when he puts a little more muscle on and he boasts his confidence even more, next year in 2 years, this could be a superstar.
It's like you talked to Darius himself. That's exactly what he said he wanted to do, gearing up for Big Ten play. Right now stands at 6'5", 175. But looking to get bigger and understanding how physical the Big Ten can be. Still in non-conference play, of course, as he makes both free throws up to 13 points. That brings up a good point, too, with 15 new players on this Maryland roster. Just one with Big Ten experience as a letter winner. That was Pharrell Payne, who played his first 2 years at Minnesota. Payne then goes to Texas A&M and comes to Maryland with Buzz Williams, but Payne out for this game after an injury against Marquette on Saturday. Three-pointer from Keys, that one's good. And we're tied at 56. Three-point shooting so impressive for Mount St. Mary's. It moves to 10 for 21.
The threes Keys has hit has been from way beyond the arc, one being a few steps behind.
How about the defense from Justin Amadi? This one goes off Mount St. Mary's. Donnie Lind pleading, jumping onto the court for them to take a look.
Assistant coaches were very passionate about that. Great hustle from Amadi, and you can clearly see there he knocks it out of the hands of Mills. Ball goes out of bounds. Should stay with the Terps.
We were at shoot-around today, and we saw that energy, excitement, and pace that Mount St. Mary's loves to play with. It's not that big of a surprise to see the mount a second-half comeback here, just with the way that their culture's been set.
We saw it on Sunday. They had a second-half lead and just lost those opportunities to Cincinnati. But here, after being down double digits, they've mounted a tie here.
And the inbound to Darius Adams is thrown out of bounds. Donnie Lind loves what he sees. And another opportunity for his Mountaineers to take its first lead since 6 minutes in.
And we've said it, the Mount, they've had turnover issues, but this run has been clean basketball and taking care of it as well.
Mount St. Mary's team fresh off an appearance in the NCAA tournament last year, and Keys with a huge three. Making 12 points, all from distance, and it's a three-point Mount St. Mary's lead. Maryland needs a response. Adams gives it to Diggy Coit. Coit works on the screen from Saunders. A mid-range shot from the right side. Off the front of the rim. Mills with the rebound and the putback bucket.
Now that's a winning play from Andre Mills. Just when momentum is swinging the other way, Mills comes swooping in off of the missed jumper and laying it in.
That's what Dre's done this season. 8 points to 5 rebounds. Another three from Keys. He can't miss. Arlandis Keys had just 5 3-point makes coming into this game. He's matched that total in this game alone with 15.
Silencing the student section, doing it as well.
Now down by 4. Saunders a layup, but he traveled before. And then Mount St. Mary's bench, those who traveled down from Emmitsburg are loving it here.
I mean, these shots are from Emmitsburg, you would think. These shots are far for Keys. That's about 5 feet behind the three-point line. That's NBA range for Arlandis Keys, giving the Mount St. Mary Mountaineers a 4-point lead.
Arlandis Keys brings the ball up the court right now. He's been the man for Mount St. Mary's. 15 points to lead all Mountaineers. All 5 of his makes coming from behind the arc. Mills guards him now. The ball doesn't find him. Lipscomb gets the screen from McKeldin. Into the corner, Rosakayas looks to add to it. Off the front of the rim, and it goes behind the backboard.
Maryland catches a break there. That was a wide open 3-point attempt, and even there was a little contact by Watts after that on the contest. No whistle is called. Ball goes to the Terps.
Just been a tale of 2 different shots right now. Maryland's made only 1 of its last 9. Mount St. Mary's 6 of its last 8. Coit makes it another miss. Rebound goes to Mount St. Mary's on a 2-on-2 break. DeVoe into the paint. Takes the contact, no foul, but the finish is still good. Buzz Williams watches with his arms crossed from Maryland's side of the bench. Donnie Lind looks like he's in the game himself for Mount St. Mary's. 6-point lead for the Mount, its largest of the game. Adams puts it up for grabs. Lipscomb keeps it in play. Another turnover for Maryland. It's 10th to Mount St. Mary's 14. Mountaineers leader Xavier Lipscomb, patient with the play as he gives it to McKeldin. Over to Rosakayas. Into the paint where it's going to be a foul picked up by Diggy Coit as he guards DeVoe. Back here at the Xfinity Center with 7 minutes to play in this one. Mount St. Mary's up 6 points over Maryland, a Terps team that led by as much as 13 about 7 minutes ago. Arlandis Keys puts up the shot. He's been why Mount St. Mary's has come back, but he can't make that jumper. Here comes Maryland, 1 of its last 10 from the field. Looking to change that, they tried out Coit, Saunders, Adams, Metcalf, and Watts. Pass over to Diggy, and 8 seconds on the shot clock. Gives it to Watts, left wing 3-pointer. It's in and out, but what about the tip to Coit? His straightaway 3, yes! Dial up Diggy when you want a triple. That's his 5th 3-pointer, up to a game-high 21.
Had 18 before that shot. He's been a little quiet ever since Mount St. Mary's was making that run, but that is a big shot to get it to 1 possession.
That's the lead to 3. McKeldin into the paint. Left-handed layup, no. Isaiah Watts flies in for the rebound. They'll call this one a jump ball early. Arrow points Maryland's direction. How about that tip from Saunders to the 3 with Diggy?
You'd like to see him grab the ball with 2 hands, but that's a great hustle play from Saunders, leading to the Coit 3. And this is great defense from Metcalf. Watch him jump straight up. Nice contest. Ball goes out of bounds. Terps have it now.
Almost had it taken away, but Coit gets off the deflection. Coit tries another, a heat check 3, yes! Oh, it's Diggy Coit's night at the Xfinity Center right now. Back-to-back 3-point makes, tied this game at 64.
6-point lead erased for the Mount as Diggy Coit is stepping up big time. Tie game here.
Tries some defense, can't poke it away from Keys. Gets it over to Lipscomb. Tipped out by Metcalf. Amani puts up the shot. No. Rebound goes to Darius Adams. Here's who you want with the ball if you're a Maryland fan. Diggy Coit. Right-handed layup. The whistle blows before.
There's a little smile from Diggy Coit as he missed the layup, but this place would have exploded if this ball found the bottom of the net. He's been on fire. Make it 24 points for Diggy Coit. Also efficient shooting numbers. Make it 7 for 12 from the floor, including 6 for 7 from 3 and 4 for 4 from the line as he will get 2 more opportunities and now a chance to take the lead.
Correct that. Xavier Lipscomb fouled Coit in the act of shooting. 2 shots for Coit, and he makes the first one, making 5 for 5 from the line. Shooting, leadership, and a calmness is what Diggy Coit brings to this Maryland team. And nearly 100 games of college experience. Make him 6 for 6 from the line today.
Make that an 8-0 Diggy Coit run to take the lead for Maryland and waking up this crowd at Xfinity Center.
Maryland fans onto their feet on what's been a great day for the Maryland men's basketball program. Mason So, back over to Xavier Lipscomb. He'll try a straightaway triple, and that silences it. Lipscomb gives a stare to the Maryland fans in attendance. Puts the Mountain back up. 6 of 7 shooting from three-point land. Mountain 67, Maryland 66. All of a sudden, a mid-November game is starting to feel like March with 5 minutes to play. Both these teams in the tournament last year. Maryland under first-year head coach Buzz Williams has aspirations of getting back into the postseason. Adams up to Coit, guarded by Amandi. Creates space, he'll try another 3. In and out. Tipped off the right hand of Colin Metcalf, and this ball goes to Mount St. Mary's. Benji, I don't know if you'd be able to keep the roof on this place if that 3 went down for Diggy Coit.
We thought the fans got excited for Baba Oladiton. This place would have exploded if Coit found the bottom and taken back the lead.
Maryland brings the half-court pressure, led by Isaiah Watts. So, has it in front of his own bench, spun around to Lipscomb. Bounce pass into the corner with DeVoe. So, to Amadi, blocked away by Metcalf. Gets the rebound, and a second chance bucket drops down. Back up to a 3-point lead for the Mount.
Great block by Metcalf. We saw him do it twice against Marquette. He just couldn't do it again there, as it was a nice follow-up by Amadi.
There's Maryland in this contest because of Diggy Coit right now. Into the hands of Andre Mills, though. Has it finished with the left? No. Metcalf got a piece of it, but Lipscomb instead pulls it down. Chance for the Mount to go up 2 scores. Here's Xavier Lipscomb. Goes down the left wing. Reverse as a handoff to Amadi. That one's good too.
Another chance for Buzz to call a timeout, but he's just trusting his guys. And no, it looks like Coit will dribble up, and Buzz calls a must-needed timeout, down 5.
6 straight Mount St. Mary.
With Maryland and Diggy Coit looking to respond.
That's the reason why you put Coit's name with Maryland. 26 points and counting for Coit, already the most by a Terp so far this season. Maryland down by 5 and hasn't scored a point in 2 minutes. Mills into the painted area, and Lipscomb picks up the foul. And what'll be his 3rd of the game.
And Mount St. Mary's having a lot of foul trouble in this game. We saw Maryland get into the double bonus in the first half, and that's 9 fouls for the Mount, with 1 more, making it double bonus.
It's all about the Terps getting to the line again. It's going to be free throw attempts 32 and 33 in this game. In the bonus, just the 32, I should say. Maryland's got over 30 free throw attempts. Mount St. Mary's has just 6. They made up for it by making 5 more threes than Maryland has. How about Buzz Williams watching that clock, knowing it could have been a 10-second violation, and made sure the referees today knew so as well.
After missing a free throw, Maryland will now get a free possession, and they have to take advantage of it, as we are now down to under 3 minutes. These possessions don't come often.
Brian Dorsey's crew making the call, and giving the ball back to Maryland. Coit draws the double. Amadi and Lipscomb watching everywhere he goes. Now Adams will try a 3-pointer. The freshman is just short. DeVoe skies up for it.
Not the shot you want. You take a little more time. You're only down 5. Get a good shot.
Lipscomb. He's got 11 points. Into the paint and passes it out to So. So to McKeldin, another handoff to the point guard. Here's So. Layup doesn't go. And Amadi can't keep it in bounds after bringing in the offensive rebound.
He has been the hustle guy in this second half. Has a lot of offensive rebounds and another chance there, but he just couldn't corral it as Maryland will get another chance.
Well, it's 6 rebounds for Justin Amadi. 5 have been on the offensive glass. Diggy Coit walks up the timeline, calls out the play. Screen from Saunders, Maryland down by 5. Coit, stutter steps, right-handed layup, no, but Maryland heads back to the line. Foul goes on Luke McKeldin for his second foul. Looks like this.
Well, it's just such a mature drive from Coit. The stop and drop and change of pace, the deceleration to the acceleration to the rim. He couldn't finish, but he'll tally on more free throws.
How about Diggy Coit? 11 inches shorter than Luke McKeldin, but knows exactly how to draw the foul on the big man, and do so by moving 7 for 7 at the line. New Jersey native Coit makes both of them. One of the prettiest shots on this Maryland roster. 8 for 8 from the line, and put Maryland at 26 for 34, a 76% clip. Final 2 minutes in this one. Buckle up for a 3-point Mount St. Mary's lead. DeVoe up top to Keys. Maryland student section wrapping around Xfinity Center to its feet. Lipscomb onto the low block, tipped away by Watts. And they're going to point Mount St. Mary's way with 6 seconds on the shot clock and 94 on the game clock.
And you can see Luke McKeldin right now telling his guy to throw it a little higher. And Isaiah Watts deflected it. And I don't know, McKeldin might have touched it last. If they take a look at it, this ball deflects out of bounds. It's Watts, hits McKeldin. But this ball for now will stay with the Mount.
Watts taking a play out of Diggy Coit's playbook. Watts 8 inches shorter than Luke McKeldin, but it doesn't matter for the tip. 6 seconds on the shot clock, they get it to McKeldin. 3 Terps in his face, and it's stolen away. Here comes Adams. Puts up the layup, and he's fouled again. Darius earns free throw attempts 14 and 15. It can bring Maryland within 1.
Last time he had a chance, he took a deep 3, couldn't hit it, but now he learns his lesson and goes back to the free throw line off of that swipe from Amadi, and he'll shoot 2.
Darius already 13 points, 5 rebounds. The freshman and number 4th ranked prospect all time for Maryland. Actually becomes number 5 tonight with the commitment from Baba Oladotu. Misses the first free throw. And the second as well, but the rebound to Mills. Kick out to Watts, his 3-pointer. Yes! Tie game in College Park with under 90 to play.
Big shot from Watts, and the crowd is loving it as we got a tie game with just over a minute to go.
There's a palpable buzz in the Xfinity Center right now, and it's just mid-November. Lipscomb, cross court to DeVoe. Walks to baseline, back out to Lipscomb. A 3 in front of his own bench, he drains it. Timeout Maryland with 55 seconds left to play, and now a 3-point Mount St. Mary's lead.
Crowd goes loud, now it goes silent. That was a huge shot from the veteran in Xavier Lipscomb. No one else you want taking that shot. He's been through these moments before. Now a big shot. Mount St. Mary's is up by 3 with less than a minute to go.
Up by 3 as these two teams just trade long-range buckets. It starts with Isaiah Watts.
Both of them were on the catch and shoot. Great passes. Lipscomb catch and shoot in front of his bench. Nothing but the net for a big shot.
Watts makes his first 3 of this game. Mount St. Mary's Lipscomb makes his 4th. These two teams living and dying by the 3-pointer. And Mount St. Mary's shooting over 50% from long range with 14 makes.
We've seen Maryland get to the line with 36 free throw attempts, but Mount St. Mary's has matched that scoring with 14 made 3s of their own. That's half of their makes from the floor.
It's a Mount St. Mary's team that's 0-12 all-time against Maryland, 0-24 all-time against the Big Ten. You couldn't tell it so far, though, through the first 39 minutes of this game. Going back and forth and showing that they belong to be in this gym with Maryland for sure.
And Donnie Lynn making big changes to the program. So how fitting would it be to end this streak of losing to teams like this for it to be done by Donnie Lynn's squad?
11 team fouls for Mount St. Mary's puts Maryland in the double bonus. Just 5 team fouls for the Terps. It's dribbled up to Darius Adams. Here we go. Mills, handoff to Coit. He's got a game-high 28, passes to Adams. Maryland down by just 3. Darius to Watts. Takes it into the paint himself. Left-handed layup is short. Rebound goes to Trey DeVoe. And fouled. I'm trying to pass it out. I mentioned how Maryland has fouls to give. 34 seconds to make up this 3-point hole.
And I like the take from Watts. You know, they were all looking for that 3 to tie it, but Watts drove aggressively to the paint, was looking for contact, couldn't finish. And now just under 5 seconds in the shot clock,
Foul
game clock difference.
Goes against Darius Adams, just his second. As Rosakayas checks back into the game. Full court pressure for Maryland. Keys gets it up to So. 30 seconds on the clock, and the foul committed by Andre Mills. It'll be just his second, stops the clock with 30 to play.
Maryland didn't necessarily have to commit the foul. They would have had time if they got the stop and then rebound, got the ball back, call a timeout, but Buzz is just opting his guys to make Mount St. Mary's win the game at the free throw line. And if they miss, Maryland will have chances to tie it.
It's a good tragedy because the Mount has not gotten itself there today. Just 4 for 6 from the line. Here's Mason So, he's 1 for 1. Remember way back into early in that first half, he had that 4-point play. First free throw is good. It's a 4-point Mount St. Mary's lead. This free throw, making this what would be a 5-point cushion, is huge now for the visitors.
Mount St. Mary's faithfuls already starting to taste something special.
Mason So, the transfer from UNC Greensboro, is perfect on both. Ball into the hands of Diggy Coit. Shot clock 1 second quicker than the game clock. Coit needs a quick layup, gets it, and the foul! Coit comfortable in this moment of the game. Brings Maryland even closer. It's a 3-point game.
Just what the doctor ordered. Confidence being shown. He had a little offhand help, but a nice take from the grad transfer, showing off his experience and not taking a lot of time off the clock, and he'll shoot another free throw to itch into this lead even more.
Foul goes against Mason So, who fouls out of this game. Has 9 points to his credit as a starting point guard. Just made those 2 big free throws, goes from doing that to now fouling out for the Mount.
If you're the Mount, that's a painful sight to see him go out. He's had a nice game, knocking down a pair of triples. And now those free throws, but he'll have to watch the rest of this game
How about
from
Dick
the bench.
Coit too, up to 30 points. First Terp with 30 since Derek Queen against Michigan in that Big Ten semifinal loss a season ago. Makes the free throw too. Makes it a 2-point game. Maryland's got all 5 of the white jerseys on to its shooting side of the court, guarding this inbound. Lipscomb finds a teammate in Keys, and Watts commits the foul. Just Watts' first foul in this game. 8th team foul goes against Maryland and puts Mount St. Mary's in the bonus now.
And Maryland was switching on everything on that press defense. And that allowed for one guy to open up Keys and nearly dribble past the defense before the foul was called.
This is just the 3rd home game this season for Maryland and the Wall here at Xfinity Center, but they need Terp fans to get loud. Keys is cool in the moment. Up to a game-high 16 on his first free throw make.
All his points came from the 3-point line, and now he's showing his versatility, knocking down a free throw, looking to do it again.
Back to a 3-point lead. Another 4 Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers are back. He misses the second. Here we go. Shot clock's off for Diggy Coit. Already got 6 made threes today. A 3 can tie it. Coit will call a timeout right before. Buzz Williams didn't like what he saw, and that 3-point attempt waved off for Diggy Coit. Maryland timeout, down 3 points, which
Placed on to Coit. He's got 31, as you said it.
Xavier Lipscomb to his back right now as Isaiah Watts talks to some teammates before the inbound. 3 ties it and sends us into overtime. Watts on the inbound, gets it to Coit. 10 seconds on the clock. The 3-pointer is up, and it's good! with 9 seconds to play. Xavier Lipscomb brings up the timeline looking for a game-winning shot. Lipscomb into the paint. No foul called. The defense is good. And Adams puts up a three-pointer. And it's over the backboard as we head to overtime in College Park. Hold on to your 12 lead changes. And this is the 8th tie of this game. Elijah Saunders, Amadi into the middle. And it's won by Mount St. Mary's' Justin Amadi. Here's Orlandis Keys. Got 16 points for Mount St. Mary's, a game high, a team high as it passes to Rosakayas. His three-pointer doesn't hit anything, and pulled out by Andre Mills. Here's Watts. Mount St. Mary's has numbers back. Coit, a point shy of his career high. Passes off to Saunders. Out looking for Isaiah Watts. It goes, hits the scorer's table.
With this game going into overtime, the pressure is on Maryland to settle down and see if they can match this response here. As it looks like they're just a little too excited to be here. Coit pass up the shot, and this ball goes out of bounds for a turnover. But this game is still tied, a lot of ball to be played.
David Diggy Coit, in career game number 97. He's a few points shy of his career high, which is 37. Came over 2 years ago. Trey DeVoe, pass to Keys. His three-pointer from the corner is good. Orlandis Keys with a 6th three-pointer. He's got 19 and gives them out a 3-point lead.
Mills extended high for that contest, and he nearly got a hand on the ball, but it goes over his fingertips and into the net.
Saunders, dribble handoff to Diggy Coit. And he's fouled by Justin Amadi as he makes it happen.
Seen so many examples of body hitting the body. Lots of contact, physicality, a game Buzz loves. But here is Keys with 6 threes tonight and being a star for the Mount.
He's got nearly half of the makes for Mount St. Mary's today, who's made 15 three-pointers, still shooting over 50% from behind the arc.
Looks like the refs will take a review on this previous contact. Call was foul. Foul was called on Amadi.
There's Amadi who tried to get over the screen from Elijah Saunders. And what right now would be the 4th foul that goes against Justin Amadi. He does have 9 points for the Mount.
Here Amadi just oversteps a little bit. Digs an elbow into the back of Coit. And that might have been where the call came from, but here the ref's taking a review, and we should have a call shortly.
Previous play stand as called.
Here you see a close-up and then some of Brian Dorsey making the call. That will still stand as a 4th foul in this game for Justin Amadi. One final look.
Saunders hits that shoulder. A lot of contact there, but from the ref's vantage point, Amadi just gets a little too close to Coit.
Mount St. Mary's up to 13 team fouls. Mount's also in a single bonus. Maryland has 8 fouls. Diggy Coit up to 35 points and 10 for 10 from the free throw line.
Are we sure he's breaking a sweat tonight? He just looks so calm. I don't know if his heartbeat has rose at all.
First Terp with 35 or more points is a little-known point guard named Jameer Young. Did so a couple seasons ago. Amadi, a big flush, but he gets fouled while trying to slam it down. A couple times today, he's been close to ending up on a highlight reel. That time he gets fouled in the process once more.
Nearly destroyed the rim. Look at how far he cocks his arm back.
Oh my goodness.
A lot of contact. And he'll shoot free throws now, but man, he almost extended and made another highlight play, as you pointed out.
There's been a couple of times where he's gotten fouled. You think back to the putback jam he almost had. That's the 2nd foul on Elijah Saunders. Amadi can't make the free throw. He's 1 for 3 from the line. Amadi is the epitome of experience for this Mount St. Mary's team. His 3rd collegiate stop as he drops in a free throw. Mount St. Mary's back up by 2. Andre Mills working on Xavier Lipscomb. Puts up a shot, and he's fouled this time. Goes as the 4th foul on Xavier Lipscomb. Now a little bit of foul trouble for the Mount.
Maryland not breaking away from the game plan, going to the basket, and Lipscomb stripped the ball away, but might have just been a little too much hand contact.
4 fouls for Xavier Lipscomb, 4 for Justin Amati. Mills back to the line. Make him 3 for 7 now. How many times have we seen Mills with those 4 offensive rebounds, those hustle plays that Buzz Williams' teams are defined by?
He doesn't have the best shooting numbers, but he will make those hustle plays when it counts.
And when it counts too, making both those free throws to tie this game at 81. Buzz Williams has lost his suit jacket. Everyone on the Maryland bench, Maryland fans here, onto their feet. Orlandis Keys to Xavier Lipscomb. It's a switch on to Saunders. It's tipped away by Coit. McKeldin falls on it with 7 seconds on the shot clock. This one's tied up. Jump ball with the arrow pointing Maryland's way.
And that play started with the Diggy Coit strip, doing it on both ends all night long. Bodies hit the deck. And Watts and Mills just collide, and looks like McKeldin tried to call a timeout, but Maryland got their hands on it. It'll go the Terps' way.
Arrow is now pointing Mount St. Mary's way with 3 minutes left to play. We're tied at 81. This all Maryland matchup. Mills working on Amati. He's got 4 fouls. Passes over to Coit. Coit thinks about another step back. Now finds a Saunders. Straight away, triple. You bet! Elijah Saunders' first 3 since the first half. It puts Maryland up by 3.
With all the attention put on Coit, it's going to take other guys to hit shots like that. Coit wanted the ball back, but Saunders was looking all at the rim, and he knocks it down.
Still plenty of time for the Mount. Such a well-played game under second-year coach Donnie Lynn. Mount St. Mary's team in the tournament a season ago, he can see why. DeVoe's 3. It's too short. Rebound goes to Amati. He throws it off of Isaiah Watts. It stays with the Mountaineers.
Once again, rebounding, keeping it a close game. Amati with a lot of those hustle plays. Here's a smart play from the veteran. He corrals it and hits it off of Watt, goes out of bounds, stays with Mount St. Mary's.
This is not football. You are not running route.
4 Mount St. Mary's players go to the half-court line. Instead of a play like their offensive football play call. Inbound goes to Lipscomb. DeVoe back to Xavier Lipscomb. Xavier over to Keys. He tries another 3. He's got it again. Orlandis Keys, 22 points, 7-7. This is the first one that's gone to overtime. Maryland's won each of the first 12 games in this series by an average of 25 points. Certainly don't have that one side of a contest here tonight. Diggy Coit, 36 points, 3 assists. He's got 7 triples to his name too. Works in, mid-range shot, it drops down again. 86-84 Maryland. Minute 30 to play. Xavier Lipscomb wants to get his Mountaineers back into it. Into the man of the moment right now for Mount St. Mary's, Orlandis Keys. Great matchup against Isaiah Watts. Trey DeVoe into the paint, a pass to Amati. Draws the contact, it goes off a Terp, no foul in the process. How about this? Maryland, its coaches, its bench players, so animated into the game. Brian Cormier has to remind them, Brian Dorsey reminding them, gotta get off the court. Xavier Lipscomb to inbound with 5 seconds on the shot clock. Mount St. Mary's runs its play, gets it in just in enough time. 4 seconds. Orlandis Keys puts up a 3-pointer. Off the front of the rim, rebound goes to Amati. Fresh 20 for the Mountaineers. Lipscomb draws the foul on Diggy Coit as he drives in.
It's a good foul by Coit there. There was a wide open driving lane for Lipscomb. He just turns the corner there. Coit gets his hand too far in. Tries to put his hands up saying he didn't do anything, but Adams was there to help, and free throws are on the way for the veteran.
Coit's got 38 points, but that's just his second foul of the game. All 5 on the court for Maryland right now. Saunders, Watts, Adams, Mills, and Coit with 2 or less fouls. Meanwhile, Xavier Lipscomb at the free throw line. He's got 4 fouls and now has a made free throw. Xavier Lipscomb, Justin Amati been the 2 real contributors for Mount St. Mary's with 15 and 10 respectively. They each got 4 fouls though. Seven dribbles for Xavier Lipscomb. His second free throw to tie, misses. Rebound goes to Andre Mills. Final minute in this game. Coit thinks about a 3, now fires from the left. Art, you got it! 41 for Diggy Coit and a 4-point Maryland lead. Mount St. Mary's needs a bucket with 40 seconds to go and a 4-point deficit. Lipscomb into the paint, and he's fouled.
Diggy Coit just being sensational, making a 40-burger for Maryland, doing it what he did on Saturday against Marquette with a step-back 3. Incredible stuff from the shortest guy on the court. And the bench is loving it as Maryland takes back the lead with under 40 seconds to go.
Foul goes on Andre Mills, his third, to send Xavier Lipscomb back to the line. We'll have 2 shots here in the double bonus. As Diggy Coit, 41 points, 8 for 10 from three-point land, becomes the first Terp in 15 years to have 40 or more points. The great Grievous Vasquez had 41 in 2010.
Diggy Coit, likely his only year with Maryland, cementing his name into the record books with an incredible playing night.
It's a new career high for Coit and career game number 97. Lipscomb makes the first free throw. Move up to 16 points. To make this a 2-point game, and he does just that. Ocek out of the game. And back in comes Anastasios Rosakeas. Patrick Haig into the game too for Mount St. Mary's. Coit to inbound with Maryland having a 2-point lead with 36 seconds left. That's a foul immediately called with the inbound going to Adams.
Adams is the guy you want taking those shots. It's 11 for 15 from the free throw line, and you can tell when Adams takes those shots that if he's not comfortable with that follow through, the ball's probably going to rim in and out. But if he likes what he sees and the ball goes off the hand smoothly, the ball will fall.
Darius Adams at the line, 13 points. 11 of those 13 points have come right here at the free throw line. Makes the first one to a silenced Xfinity Center crowd. You'd think that he's shooting at the new Barry P. Gossett Performance Center down the street.
Certainly comes in handy for moments like this. Great preparation. There's a nice shot.
Maryland back up by 3. Adams to make it a 4-point game. Nylon. 91-87 with Maryland. Game clock 3 seconds behind the shot clock. Lipscomb, right wing, Keys, another 3-pointer. Off the front of the rim, rebound goes to Adams, and he's fouled by Trey DeVoe. Maryland fans starting to make some noise at the Xfinity Center. And it's already been an incredibly impactful day for the program. It's Darius Adams who looks to ice it.
And who was there to contest that shot? Diggy Coit. And after that ball went around and Adams got the rebound, Coit let the crowd know that he's here.
For the second time, and about 20 seconds of game action, it's Darius Adams at the line. He adds another free throw. Maryland up by 5. Adams to make The Terps up by 6 and does that. Shot clock's off with 20 seconds left in this overtime period. Xavier Lipscomb brings it up, need a bucket fast. They find it with DeVoe. Lipscomb tries a straightaway triple off the front of the rim. Ping pongs around, Lipscomb gets the keys, uses their three-point shooter. Doesn't have another one. Rebound to Amadi with 4 seconds on the game clock. This one goes Maryland's way. With this one all but over between the Terps and the Mountaineers. Timeout called. Final 5 seconds. This one, Diggy Coit, the man of the moment for Maryland with 41 points, most by a Terp in 15 years. He's set to inbound. Gets to Darius Adams, who's then fouled immediately. Takes off 1.2 seconds on the game clock as Adams makes that long walk to the free throw line in front of Maryland's bench. Xavier Lipscomb fouls out of this game with 17 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. The leader for the Mountaineers did a little bit of everything in this game.
He's about to shoot 20 and 21 free throws tonight. Just outstanding work from the freshman. We've said it all night long that he's not playing like a freshman. He's showing confidence, he's showing leadership, and he's showing that he is built for the moment, looking to ice this game.
Adams has walked into College Park and immediately been Buzz Williams' starting point guard for a reason.
We love you,
Up to 18 points, looking for 19. Would put Maryland up by 8. It's good for Darius. Final shot attempt here for Mount St. Mary's. Length to the court. Keldon to Rosa Caius. It's good with 0.4 on the clock. Maryland will inbound and have this tremendous college basketball game be wrapped up with Andre Mills. Mount St. Mary's comes into Maryland, puts up beyond a great fight